Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Amirul Bin Alias. My matrix number is CN190050. My program is BNG, Bachelor of Engineering Technology in Automotive, and my supervisor is Mr. Muhammad Asri bin Azizul. As slide shows, my title project is Development of Auto Start-Stop Key System. Okay, for the next slide is for my presentation overview. That was include a few parts, which is introduction, problem statements, objective, scope of project, literature review, and methodology. Okay, firstly we go through with introduction. For my first point is start-stop system is a system that shut off the engine when it is idle. For example, when we stuck at traffic or traffic signal, the engine will automatically stops and the engine will restart when driver press the pedal. Okay, for the secondly, start-stop system is a technical solution to the problem of fuel efficiency. That means these systems are designed to minimize gasoline or fuel. And thirdly, to set up the system, they have a few parts that include starter, battery, computer system, that means ECU, electric control unit, and other components that need to modify to enable the system. Okay, for the next slide is problem statement. Firstly, nowadays a large number of vehicles, including motorcycle, was stuck on traffic light and traffic jam for almost 2 minutes, perhaps even longer than that. During this stuck, the engine was running in idle while the motorcycle was not moving. So, this process of idling resulting with on large amount of fuel consumption. And secondly, process of idling produce exhaust emissions that cause global warming and health issues. The increasing use of fuel and global warming has forced to automotive industry to search alternative solution as emission to internal combustion engine. And for the lastly, uh, from the data of article, the trends show growth of CO2 emission, carbon dioxide emission to transport sector in Malaysia has increased in early 90s to 2012. For the next slide is objective. Firstly, to study in development of auto start-stop system for motorcycle, and secondly, to evaluate data acquisition system DAQ that use an Arduino for a motorcycle start-stop kit application. For the third, to simulate start-stop kit system using MATLAB or Simulink. And four, to analyze data acceleration and deceleration of motorcycle using accelerometer during development of start-stop kit system. Okay, for the next slide is scope of project. Firstly is construct an Arduino programming for start-stop function by using MATLAB software tool. For the second, the auto start-stop kit will be carried out with a Yamaha LC135. For the third, the experiment will be conducted on actual real road condition. And for the fourth, the acceleration and deceleration of motorcycle data is collected using accelerometer sensor and integrate with MATLAB Simulink. And next, the development of start-stop kit system for motorcycle as a piggyback type. Okay, for the next slide is literature review. Firstly is author from Honda at year 2022, which title Save Fuel Just by Driving Normally with Honda's idling stop system. Okay, for finding, we can conclude that Honda has developed ACG starter that use to generate electricity and charge the battery while riding. Before starting, the engine is turned slightly in the opposite direction. This enables the piston to have a good start. Okay, for the second is author from Nancy Dunham for the year 2020. The title is Automakers Adopt Start-Stop System. Okay, for finding, this enable start-stop. Some driver set it noisy and make the car seem tremble or stall when the engine start or stop because of component need to move when the system is required to start. Okay, for the thirdly, for the author Janetta Philip, uh, George Joe, for the year 2019, the title is Motorcycle Engine Shut Off Device. Okay, this article develop motorcycle engine shut off device to turn turn on or off the motorcycle engine and track the motorcycle location. Okay, for the lastly, the author Osama Kamal, Muhammad Munawar, Osman Mahmud, Aslam Buta, Dr. Muhammad Aftad Qureshi, and Suhail for the year 2017, and title is Energy and Cost Efficient Auto Start-Stop System for Motorbike and Eco-Friendly Technology. Okay, for the first use start-stop system is Toyota Crown that is able to shut off the engine in 1.5 seconds after vehicle stop. It is cut off the spark plug uh, supply to turn off the engine. In order to start the engine, the researcher could use the method to continue the spark by make some modification in wiring. This is my flowchart of the study. Firstly, we need to identify the problem that happened to environment. Secondly is literature review. They need to make some research from journal, article and open sources. Then identify objective and scope. That is a guideline to researcher that will be used to achieve objective. And after that, define parameter of experiment and part selection. That means to analyze what sensor and component need to use based on parameter of experiment. Next, develop prototype that involve simulation and installation of sensor. Next is sensor verification. Sensor verification, that means the calibration on the sensor based on the real condition on the road. And install the component to vehicle and conduct the experiment. Then after data obtained valid, make it as discussion based on data and conclusion. For the next flowchart, show the process of auto start-stop system that use in simulation. Firstly, LED is on mode. It means the engine is on. After accelerometer has input 0 meter per second and the switch push button is on mode. Arduino Uno will analyze that input to delay cut off the engine in 4 seconds to engine automatically stop, and LED is turned off, and if the potentiometer turned clockwise, and the reading of potentiometer increase, the current will supply to starter solenoid, and the engine will start. So the LED is on mode. Okay, for the next slide is vehicle preparation. This is the flow how the setup of system auto start stop system for motorcycle. Ignition signal supply the current to Arduino Uno to stop the engine. It will cut off the ignition signal if the input accelerometer are set to stop. To start the engine, potentiometer that attached to the throttle grip will be take input rotation from the driver to supply the current from battery to the relay starter to transmit power to the solenoid starter to start the engine. Okay, for the expected result, this is my expected result that will be obtained from the accelerometer. The input from the accelerometer will be analyzed as an output for engine to start or stop. The result on test performed using accelerometer, the graph show the graph decrease when the driver in braking. For the normal braking, the engine are not automatically stopped as the reading set to the engine automatically stop is 0 meter per second. For hard braking, the data shows the velocity is 0 meter per second, and the engine will automatically stop as the ignition signal cut off the current to engine. Okay, for the next slide is Gantt chart. This is my Gantt chart of my final year project 1. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.